All right, boys and girls, it's Ed with Ed's Garage and Grill coming at you. We got us a new little hot rod in the shop. I ain't gonna do a full walk around because I had to come home and kind of take it apart a little bit. But it is a 35 Plymouth with Chevy running gear. Supposedly been a hot rod in some similar fashion to this for over 60 years. I went and picked it up on Friday and cannonballed it 3 hours to get home. Been talking to the fella on it for a couple of months and he just promised it was a good road car. And it was. It made it all the way within about 10 minutes of the house. So let me show you what happened. I went to pull away from a red light and my gas pedal went limp. I was hoping the throttle cable would come loose at the pedal inside the car, but no, it was under the hood. So let me show you what had happened was, had this funky little end on it. These nice little braided cable here, and this funky little end that's held on with that goofy little Allen screw. Well, it wasn't machined right, and I got the screw pulled out now, but it would not sit all the way down in that cavity and totally pinch that cable on. So it just literally just slipped right off. So ignore that green string. This was attempt number one. I was like, what in the world am I gonna do to fix this throttle cable to get me off the side of this divided 4-lane? I went to rumming through the car. There wasn't a string, there wasn't a wire, there wasn't nothing. I said, I got my laptop bag because I was at work. Got this raggedy old set of wired headphones. I said, man, I can take those wired headphones, and I butchered them up and tie them off to the throttles right there. Run them through a hole in the firewall right there. Focus camera. There you go. And I can hand throttle this thing home. I did that and cranked it up. Pulled it about 4 times. And it frayed that much. Pulling it about 4 times. About that time, a nice man came up. I was gonna video this whole episode on the side of the road, but I didn't want this fella to see me videoing for YouTube on the side of a highway with traffic running about 70 miles an hour and think I was absolutely crazy, which I am absolutely crazy, but I didn't want video proof of it for that guy. At any rate, he went to digging around in his truck. I said, you got any tools? He said, no. I said, how about rope, string, wire, or something? He didn't have anything in his truck except a set of earplugs with the nice little string. He had 2 sets because one of them wasn't long enough. So we tied 2 of them together. Look at here, we left. We didn't even bother. We were on the side of the road. We didn't even bother to cut them off. The earplugs still there. But I said, if I can get that through that firewall and pull on that throttle, I can get this thing home. And as you can see, that raggedy cable wasn't enough to do it. But that one is. I had to pull that return spring off. There were 2 return springs. Too stiff for that raggedy cable. But this one made it home. Might have been too stiff for the throttle cable, which is why the end came off. But at any rate, this man thought I was crazy. He said, you want me to follow you home? I said, nah, I'll be fine. He said, what happens if that one breaks? And I pointed down to my shoes. I realized at that point it wasn't these shoes. I said, I got 2 chances right there. One on that foot and one on that foot. I said, I will pull over and tie off again and we'll ride again until it breaks. But we made it home. It's kind of funky pulling a string to make it run, but I've done crazier stuff. But we will have more on this old hot rod later. It's a cool one. And again, been a hot rod in this form or fashion, not the paint, for over 60 years. It is a legit old school hot rod. Still running a straight axle, drum brakes all the way around. They're all brand new. This is almost a true nostalgia style hot rod. And I got some nostalgia dirt drags and maybe even nostalgia drag races that I may go to with it because it fits the bill. Anyway, catch y'all later.